Hello and welcome back to Monday Meetings with Marie, a short series that I created specifically for the entrepreneurs who want to learn how to better brand their business but don't know where to start. In this series, we are going to talk all about branding. I'm Marie, brand strategist and designer, and today's topic is brand strategy. So in the last episode, we kind of sort of hit on brand strategy, but we didn't really go in depth of brand strategy, which is what today's video is for. Okay, so first things first, I want to start out by addressing any misconceptions about brand strategy. So a lot of people hear the word brand strategy and don't really know what to think about it because it's one of those phrases and one of those terms is kind of sort of just thrown out there with no explanation as to what it is, what it looks like, and what it does for your business. So, misconception number one is that a brand strategy is unnecessary for small brands. That is false. You do not have to be a huge multi-million-dollar company to have a brand strategy. And that is because, as we touched on in the last video, brand strategy is the core and the foundation for a brand. It's what sets the foundation for consistency, clarity, and intention. And even as a small business, you could use a brand strategy. So what is a brand strategy? It is the plan for how you will position your brand, for how you will represent your brand, for who it is that you are looking to serve within your brand, and what your purpose for it in your brand is. So brand strategy is broken up into 5 different parts. Well, whenever I do brand strategies, I break them up into 5 parts. The first one being your internal brand. So your internal brand covers your visions, your values, your purpose, and your mission as a overall brand. And this can be a little bit intimidating, but all in all, it really just takes you as a business owner sitting back and really asking yourself the question as to what do I want to do? What is more important to me than making money from offering this product or this service? What is the impact that I want this brand, my brand, to have on my audience? That's the type of stuff that you have to ask yourself. So I do want to kind of go in and give a slight example of what one would look like. So I'm about to let you into my brand real quick, but my internal brand's values includes creativity. It includes professionalism and sisterhood. And those were the things that I valued more than money for me. And the reason why is explained in my purpose. So my purpose is to help Black female entrepreneurs, such as myself, build their brand masterpieces through creative, bold, and professional brand strategy and design. And your internal brand, like I said in the previous video, is what's going to guide the remaining portion of your brand strategy. So once I figured out what it is that I wanted to do, I could really narrow down who I wanted to serve, right? And backtracking just a little bit, it's not just enough to figure out what you want to do, but how you want to do it as well, which isn't necessarily included into your internal brand. I did not include it into my internal brand, but it's included in a separate part. So after you figure out what it is that you want to do, you want to figure out how you want to do it as well, if you know what I'm saying. So how I wanted to do that was through brand strategy and design, but what level? Did I want to just do plain graphic designs, or did I want to do full-scale projects? Did I want to work with entrepreneurs who were perfectly fine with their businesses just being their side hustles, or did I want to work with entrepreneurs who were creative, who had that drive, and who could imagine their products in Target, who could imagine their business making them millionaires and feeding their families and supporting their family for years to come? And I clearly knew what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. So then this leads to your target audience. So we're back to target audience, and this is really the audience that you want to connect with, that you want to that you want to serve and solve their problems. And a misconception about target audience is that you can just say, oh, I'm just going for young girls. I'm targeting young girls. I sell cosmetics, I sell lashes, I sell this, that, and the third. I'm targeting young girls. And that's not enough. That is not enough at all whatsoever, right? You really want to get deeper. You want to know, what do these girls look like? What do they like? What are their values? What are their goals? What are the problems that they're having that I can solve with my product or with my service? And then that's whenever you will go into the more formal form of target audience research, basically figuring out their lifestyle, their average income, where they're located, statistical things such as that nature. But you first have to understand them as individuals. So for me and my brand, what this looked like was young Black female entrepreneurs who have been running their business for the last 2 to 3 years, and they've been consistently meeting their goals. They've been very consistent over the last 6 months, and now they're ready to take it seriously. They envision their brand having and being more. So now they're like, okay, I have to step it up, and they want to learn how to do that, but they don't know, they don't have a guide, they're kind of lost. And that's where I come in, and I come in to educate them about branding and to provide them with brand strategy and brand design services. Now, I didn't go all up into my target audience, but that's pretty much a premise of what my target audience looks like. I didn't just say Black women ages 16 to 47. You get what I'm saying? By the way, you don't want to have the age range for your target audience be that wide ever. But that's it for target audience, and now we are going to move on to market landscape and positioning. So your market landscape and positioning is basically the overview of your industry, who your competitors are, what they do well, how they position, and how you position in your brand. So let's break this down. So step one that I like to take whenever it comes to creating and completing brand strategies is doing a very broad and general research into the industry. So I am technically a graphic designer, so I had to go into graphic design and kind of look and kind of research, okay, what are the different sections in this industry, right? So example, say you sell clothing items, right? There's so many different sections of fashion boutiques and fashion businesses that you can fall under. You could do classy, you could do everyday wear, you could do XYZ wear, but it's necessary to do this so that you understand the options that are there for your business. Then once you choose which option that you want to go through, next you want to research the major competitors and the major brands within that industry. And you want to do this not to copy them. Like, do not get it confused. You don't want to research them so that you figure out everything about them and you can become a carbon copy. That's not why you research your competitors. You do that so that you can analyze their strengths, their weakness, what works for them, and how they connect with the audience. And then you go back and you look at your audience and you look at their pain points and their problems, and you evaluate, okay, these are the problems, these are the major competitors, this is what the major competitors are offering. What's the disconnect here? What problems are they not solving? What are they leaving out, right? And that is why you research your competitors, to see what is missing in the industry so that you can then position your brand as that solution. For me, in this industry, I didn't see any agency or any freelancer. I didn't see any major competitors that really looked to serve Black women and to have that sense of sisterhood and unity and community. And as a Black woman in business, having a team of Black women and being surrounded by other Black women in business, it makes me feel really, really good. And I know good time well, it makes a lot of other Black female entrepreneurs feel amazing as well. So I wanted to do more than just, here's a design, here's your brand strategy, but I wanted to build a community. And that is how I positioned my brand, more so focused on community and sisterhood and progression and unity, rather than, like I said before, just graphic designer, just brand strategy. This part of positioning your brand is actually going to play a role in building your brand personality, which is step number 4 in my brand strategies. Brand personality is a combination of the beliefs, the messages, the voice, the tone of your brand. So for me, because as you can tell, I love using myself as an example, but for me, I believe that Black women entrepreneurs deserve professional businesses. They deserve branding. They deserve someone on their team who is not going to hit them with a load of microaggressions. Somebody that is going to be able to relate to them. And I also believe that despite the stereotypical business person, successful business person that is, being, middle-aged or older-aged white males, successful business individuals can also be young Black women like myself. And I reflect that throughout my brand. Going back to the internal brand and my values, my messaging goes back to my values of creativity, of professionalism, of sisterhood. I make sure that I present that and that the audience that I am talking to feels that. So what you would do for your brand personality is do what I would do. Go back to your target audience and your internal brand and how you decided to position your brand, and come up and form a message, form beliefs that your business would not only like to uphold, but communicate very vividly at that. So that is one side of your brand personality, the beliefs and the messaging. And then the other side is the tone and the delivery. This can kind of sort of be described as the vibes of your brand. My tones and my delivery is very friendly, very relatable, very youthful, at the same time very professional. And to form my tone and my delivery, I really had to go back once again and look at who my audience was and what my values were, and decide what would fit best, right? And a question that I asked myself whenever I was building my own brand strategy was, how would this audience who values this and who is looking for this need to perceive my brand in order to be attracted to it? How would they need to perceive the brand that you run in order for them to be attracted to it? Example, I knew that the audience that I was looking for, they had to perceive my brand as professional. I also needed them to perceive my brand as creative, as unique, and as an inviting, friendly community. And that is the tone of my business. The tone of my business is fun, youthful, creative, educational, and relatable. So now we are down to step number 5 of our brand strategy, which is our brand identity. And this is where you come up with your brand name, your slogan, as well as your brand story. You might be thinking, wait, we come up with the brand story? Didn't we do that? And, don't you do that first? But you don't. You leave your name, your slogan, and your brand story towards the end, because you want a name that is going to connect with your audience. You want a name that's going to reflect your positioning. And overall, you want a name that's going to fit the brand. And the same thing goes for your slogan and your brand story. Now, this part may be a little bit difficult for a lot of entrepreneurs, but for me, what I found helps is to just throw out some brand buzzwords. Find some adjectives that describe your brand and use an adjective that works. And then as far as your slogan goes, you want to make a slogan that reflects your brand personality, so your messaging and your tone. An example, I'm going to use Nike because they have a very well-known slogan. Their slogan is just do it, and their personality is inspiration, motivation, drive, their target audience, athletes. So their slogan, just do it, speaks to their audience as well as their brand personality. So my slogan is actually build your brand masterpiece. And it is a play off of my name as well as the messaging and my purpose, because like I said before, my purpose is to help Black female entrepreneurs build their brands through strategy and design. So that was actually the last step in brand strategy. Now I do want to leave you with a couple tips. I don't want to just be like, okay, that's it, bye. First and foremost, take your time. Really, truthfully, take your time whenever it comes to creating your brand strategy. Or if you can, put it into your budget as an entrepreneur to hire a brand strategist. I mean, maybe you want to hire me. I mean, you could. I do have a package. But if you are doing this yourself, you definitely want to give yourself the time to really think, right? Brand strategy is not something that you can do in a week, unexperienced. Now, when do I suggest that you create your brand strategy or build your brand strategy or hire a brand strategist? I suggest you do this whenever you are thinking about taking your business a little bit more seriously. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably are thinking about taking your business seriously. That is completely it for this episode in this video. I will see you in the next episode of Monday Meetings with Marie. As usual, if you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, or even if you just want to share what you've learned or if this video has been beneficial, definitely let me know down below in the comment section. And I will see you in the next episode.